Woo! We are back, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the pre-show for Twitch Pitch. What's going on, guys? How's it going?
What's going on? We're back. We had a break, and now the break's over. And now we're doing this all over again for the 5th season, which is fun.
It's crazy. It's been 5 seasons.
I know, 5 seasons with probably a few more to come. Let me complain about something really quickly, just really quickly. So I know, Candice, you've experienced something similar, but from a different audience perspective. I found that my calendar is being filled with like very thinly veiled sales calls for companies that are explicitly trying to get me to help them source either diverse customers or diverse like people to be on their platform, or do you know what I mean? And I don't really know how this happened or when it started happening, but yeah, I'm not happy about it. Are you guys seeing this?
As a matter of fact, we are.
Yeah, we do.
That's so funny that you bring that up. So yes. So yeah, I guess I'm just trying to be as diplomatic about this as possible, and
say their names.
Say their names. Yeah. You know what? And this is an off topic, but like as you start to do different jobs, your level of protest changes because people have a tendency to want to limit the things that you say when they give you money.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, double-edged sword. I'm out here doing diversity, inclusion, and equity work, but some people don't want you to say as much as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we are getting lots of inquiries. I think what we know from the last year is diversity is now kind of a hot topic, and everyone wants a part of it because for some orgs, foundations, other accelerators, you name it, it's kind of starting to pad their bottom line. And so they're taking in DE&I dollars, but have no way to source diverse deals, diverse companies, diverse founders, just in general. And so they look to the people who've been doing the work and been under-resourced for years and tapping them to build capacity in their organizations and maybe pull away from ours. So I think that may be the most diplomatic way of saying it, but yes, that's a lot of what my inbox looks like right now.
I swear it was half of my phone calls Monday where people saying, hey, do you know of any founders who would want to maybe try our platform? Or, hey, do you know of any? And I'm like, why are you asking me this? I'm like, is it free? Because if it's not free for my founders, I'm struggling to understand why I would go down this path. Why anything go down this path?
I think for some reason it took people this long to realize like that you need to include the rest of the United States when you're starting something. I'm just not sure where that came from. But I mean, we've been here and been minorities for the entire time. And now the minority is flipping to the majority. And when you add in white women to all of the other, that's all the country, right? Mm-hmm. With this little tiny sliver of who's getting venture. So yeah, I just think unfortunately that's just a sign of the times. And somehow we have to figure out what the balance is between working together and giving it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Brian?
Yeah, ditto. I don't know. Nothing. It just feels like I understand where it comes from. You feel like your network doesn't have certain groups of people, and so you want to borrow someone else's network to speed up the process of meeting other people. But I don't know, just like everything in life, I don't know if you can really short circuit that. You might have to actually just make friends that are women and minorities over a period of time. And then to me, it's more real, right? It's less forced. It's more authentic.
It's just more genuine, Brian. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like, think about the relationships with people we have here in Cincinnati, right? Like, we've been doing this work for years. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy to have these conversations. And it was like, hey, can you help me do this? Well, now it's, can we do this together?
Mm-hmm.
And that feels better. Maybe these folks should be asking, can we do this together? Instead of you somehow increasing my revenue. There's just gotta be a better way. Because I'm not, just like I'm certainly they aren't, anti, our demographic. I'm certain that that's not the case. I truly believe that more humans are good than bad. It may not always feel like it, but that is absolutely the case. We wouldn't be here in 2021 if that was the case. But we do need to be better to each other as we try to get toward a more equitable society.
Preach.
Do we ever get tired of this topic? Like, some days it's just so hard. So Dr. King's birthday was on, or I'm sorry, the day of his assassination, right, was on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And his daughter, Bernice, she typically posts things about her father kind of all the time, right? But that day she typically posts lots of things. And, topics include, I miss my dad. This should have never happened. So many people hated him. Don't forget that a lot of y'all hated him that are now calling his name, saying that let's be more like him, but you hated him. And watching that and paying more attention to it on Sunday than a regular day, I just got so frustrated and angry about like the state of affairs in the world and kind of the second week leading into the murder trial that's happening right now. And, I sit here and I go, as we talked at the top of the hour about protest, and what is the right way for people to protest? It can't be violently. It can't even be really civilly. You can't be civil with each other to make it happen anymore. You can't yell, you can't scream, you can't be silent. What's the right way? And so I've really been struggling with that the last few weeks, especially as, Brian has been talking more and more about the things that happened with him at Kairos, and people are really getting to the point of understanding what happened there. And I'm trying to come to a thing where I'm trying to figure out for myself as a human, what's the right way to protest as a Black person?
I think for those that don't want to see us succeed, it's never going to be the right way, right? Whether it's a physical protest in the street, oh, that's too much. You're vandalizing businesses. But if you're Colin Kaepernick and you're just doing something quietly on your own, oh, that's too much. You're ruining my favorite sport. Okay, well, if you, do something public or like drop an album about it, right? But if you're Sam Cooke, oh, it's too much. You're ruining music. Like, they're never going to be satisfied, and they're going to find any sort of thing to claim as to why that it makes them uncomfortable or unhappy. But in reality, they're just finding every excuse to gaslight you about your experience and why you're protesting in the first place. So with that said, I think protest the way you want to protest, because you're not going to be happy about it. So do it the way you want to do it. Do it in a way that makes you happy and where you live your truth in the way you want to express it.
Yeah, I wish I want to be able to make that be true. But in my current position, I can't protest the way I want to protest.
But I think you are in such a brilliant position of power, and you can speak for so many of the millions of people who've gone through what you've gone through in various different ways. And you have a platform that no one else has. There's like 20 of you that have this platform. So I'd use it, and you're going to ruffle some feathers and you're going to freak some people out. But, I think. Go ahead.
You also attract people to you that feel the same way as well. So.
I understand that point. That makes sense. And I appreciate you saying that. It's sometimes tough because we work with corporations, we work with government, we work with, just, standard super wealthy folks. And yeah, it's hard. It's just hard. So, but we'll get there. Yeah. Frustrating.
To that point, I'm actually going to a event tonight to support the Black founders that went through the Endeavor program today. So if we could wrap it up and jump right into.
Oh, we've got this show we're doing. People don't want to just talk to us in our kitchens.
And I do want to say thank you to Carlos Jones. Appreciate your love, brother. And all these little messages always feel great.
Awesome sauce. All right, well let's see what's happening, Lexi.
All right. Well, Marlon.
We're a company and a venture capital firm that invests in companies run by women and minorities, particularly when they're away from the coast. I'm very, very focused on the Midwest. You are watching live the first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, have an opportunity to vote for companies that you like best.
So every episode, we have 3 judges, plus you, the audience. You also get to judge each pitch. After each presentation, you'll see a cute little box pop up with a Twitter link for you to vote for if you would invest in the company yourselves.
During round 1, we watched as the startups presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. Then the judges began their Q&A. After we selected viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they like best.
Candice, do you mind if we start?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
All right. Welcome back. Officially, everyone, we are back for season 5 of your very favorite show on Twitch. We are here for Twitch Pitch, the very first pitch competition live here on Twitch. For those of you who are new, hello, thank you for joining us. We gather every Tuesday and Thursday here at 7 p.m. Eastern to see great startups compete and win a $25,000 cash prize and some pretty cool other non-cash prizes as well. So Twitch Pitch, we see 12 companies every season. We have 2 companies that go head to head every episode. You're going to see 2 really great pitch videos aired, and then we bring the founders on live here for you to ask all of your questions. We'll ask some questions, talk about the companies, and then vote. So everyone watching, wherever you're watching from, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, or here on Twitch, feel free to always drop a comment down in the comment box. We'll read those comments and questions out to the companies you see here today, and stay tuned at the end. You'll be able to vote as well. So we'll give you a cool, funky number to dial, and you can vote for your favorite companies. For the season, everyone gets a vote. I get a vote. Brian gets a vote, and Candice gets 2 votes, and you, the audience, also get a vote as if this were an actual investment committee for who wins the grand prize here at the end of the season. We're so excited to bring this to you every season. We love doing this, but we really couldn't do it without our fantastic sponsors. Twitch Pitch is brought to you by incredible teams like the team at JP Morgan Chase. They are a global financial institution that serves nonprofits, countries, and other companies for decades in over 100 countries. The Ohio Third Frontier. The Ohio Third Frontier is an agency within the Ohio Development Services. They work with innovative startups across the state of Ohio, making it the destination for tech entrepreneurs. And Hillman Accelerator, which is the very first accelerator in the Midwest focused on underrepresented founders, which just happens to have been founded by yours truly, Miss Candice Brackeen. And we're also sponsored by UPS. UPS is a global logistics, transportation, and packaging solutions company that is always here for your needs. And they have a pretty cool team dedicated to startups all over the country as well. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. We're really excited to continue to bring the show to you. Once again, I am Lexi. I lead the investment team here at Lightship Capital. I love all things health tech. We have Brian over here, general partner here at Lightship. He is an expert in all things AI, machine learning, computer vision, all of those really interesting and super funky things that I know nothing about. We have Candice over here, Candice Brackeen. In addition to being the founder of the Human Accelerator, she's also a GP here at Lightship Capital and is our expert in all things e-commerce, CPG, and anything big co-related. So with that said, that's us. We're excited to get to know these companies tonight. We're excited to get to know you in the audience as well. And we will bring on our very first contestant of the season. We will see the team from Elite Suites.
Hi, my name is Amin Bahari, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Elite Suites, headquartered out of Austin, Texas. At Elite Suites, we are redefining the way we think about suites with our healthier alternatives to traditional suites. To understand why we started Elite Suites, I want to tell you a little bit more about my story. At 16 years old, I weighed 340 pounds and was on the path to obesity and diabetes, which is something that runs in my family. After seeing the negative effects of these diseases firsthand, I knew that wasn't the life I wanted to live. So that's when I began my weight loss journey, where I committed to a high protein keto lifestyle and lost 140 pounds in just over a year. Inspired by my own weight loss journey and the impact food has on our body, I wanted to help others do the same. So the real problem here is this isn't just my story. This is a story of 7 in 10 Americans who are either overweight or obese, and as a result, suffer from diabetes or heart disease, which are leading causes of death amongst overweight people. America's health crisis is a direct correlation to what we put in our body. And more than any other country, we are overfed and undernourished, consuming more sugar per capita than any other country. The solution is Elite Suites. We are helping solve this health crisis with our Better For You suites. Our products are highly functional and made to be as convenient and delicious as a traditional donut without all of the guilt. Our original product is the Elite Donut, which is packed with 12 to 13 grams of protein, is gluten-free, keto-friendly, soy-free, and only contains 1 gram of sugar per donut. Our donuts are available in 3 delicious flavors: the birthday cake, the chocolate, and the cinnamon sugar. So why donuts? The reality is Americans want better for you. Similar to Halo Top became the #1 selling pie in America, Elite Suites is setting the standard and creating a category of its own within donuts. We're not only bringing innovation to the product, but the business model by making an anytime donut that is reaching consumers where they already are, which is their homes through our direct consumer model and our digital first approach, and in-store through our omni-channel approach. And now there's no better time than ever. There's a huge demand for donuts. Everybody loves donuts, and they just don't like feeling the guilt after eating a dozen. This is why Elite Suites is uniquely positioned to become the leader in the Better For You Suites category. So let's talk a little bit about traction here. We have sold over $1 million worth of donuts to date. We have done this with 40% margins. We have done this selling with no employees and no distribution over the course of 18 months. We are also now the #1 new release in donuts We are the #1 new release in donuts on Amazon, and we are poised to do well over $3 million in revenue this year alone. Our current investors include Andreessen Horowitz, SoftBank, WeWork, Sputnik ATX, where we have raised $560K in funding to date. Now, thank you for your time. And remember, at Elite Suites, we are redefining America's sweet tooth. Thank you.
Lexi always bringing it. You know, too. She's just like the Jordan, like, you know.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to the show.
Congratulations to our company.
Every season, the person in the first slot is always fire, and it's so great. I think we get so excited about things. Okay, so you've sold $1 million worth of donuts, but not regular donuts.
That's right.
That's absolutely insane. So congratulations.
Appreciate it.
The keto market sometimes feels oversaturated.
Right.
How are you differentiating yourself in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the big value add for us, and I think the value that Elite Sweets brings, is that our core, we're low sugar and protein packed. So although, you know, we are gluten-free, keto-friendly, and soy-free, we're always going to highlight trending trends or benefits to the product. But at our core, we're a low sugar and protein packed company. So we want to create products that are always highly functional, but also low in sugar. So we think although keto is a big market and is continuing to grow, we understand that low sugar is really where the opportunity is at. And we think, you know, to create healthier alternatives to traditional sweets without the sugar, we really think that's kind of where our sweet spot is. So, yeah, in terms of keto, you know, we will highlight those kind of trends, but that's at our core, we are a low sugar protein pack company.
So you think of yourself more as low sugar than keto?
Yeah, absolutely. But okay. I mean, keto is a huge market and it's growing. So it is something that we want to take advantage of. But at our core, we're not a keto company. And so that's one thing that I do want to, you know, differentiate ourselves is, you know, we're a low sugar protein pack.
I absolutely agree with you there. What was funny was you had a slide and it was halo top. It was those little peach rings and the little kind of like cookie wafers.
Yeah.
And I've eaten all of those. So I was like, oh, wow, he's speaking to me as if you can see inside of my cabinets. So my next question is, you know, really what's next? Where do you see this company going to after donuts?
Yeah. So although we do have a big mission, I think we have an even bigger vision. And the vision for Elite Sweets is to be the leader in the better for you sweets category. So obviously the donut market is a huge untapped market. And so that's kind of why we're building the brand today around the Elite Donut, because we don't have, you know, competitors in the industry. We're creating a category of its own. And so with that brand equity, then we want to launch, you know, lines of other protein packed low sugar sweets. So in terms of like product innovation and a product pipeline, you know, we don't like to talk too far in advance because, you know, we don't know yet what product we do want to launch, but we think there's a lot of runway within donuts. So for us, you know, the next obvious product extension would be protein packed bites. So like donut holes, you know, plant-based options. So we do want to continue to build the brand around the Elite Donut. But we do, you know, we are going to launch a line of low sugar protein packed sweets in the future. But in terms of product, from a product standpoint, we focus solely on e-commerce, so direct consumer through our site, and we just launched on Amazon a few months ago, where we've seen a lot of early success. So for us, it's kind of building that brand equity, building that brand online, that community, and taking it in stores and getting retail distribution. So those are kind of our initial steps before we launch lines of other products. We really want to stay focused with our core products today.
Okay, I'm not going to hog all the questions. I'll let somebody else go.
I've got one, again, great company, amazing job. I love the way you pitched it. I love the way you told your personal story first, then kind of what got you to here. And of course, wearing swag. I always love to see that as well. So, nice touch there.
Gotta get the marketing in where we can.
Always be selling. Always be selling.
That's right.
I have a question. I have two questions. One about that there's a space between, you know, middle school sports and today where you have a very clear vision, product roadmap. You seem to know a lot about the product, obviously. Mm-hmm. Tell me about what got you here. Like how'd you end up being the person in front of us today?
Yeah. So for us, it really goes back to, you know, my days in high school, kind of like I mentioned in my story. Myself and my twin brother, we grew up in a family with diabetes and obesity, and we were really on the verge of it ourselves. And so, you know, seeing the negative effects of diseases firsthand, we knew that wasn't the life we wanted to live. And so that's when we adopted a high protein keto lifestyle. And, in just over a year, I lost 140 pounds. My brother lost about 100 pounds himself. And so that's really where we committed to, committed to this new lifestyle and looking for better for you products, healthier alternatives. And so, fast forward several years later, I stayed at home. So we're out of Austin. I went to the University of Texas at Austin, where I met a couple of my other co-founders when I was working with the Texas football team. They were captains on the UT team. And it was really during our time there, we were surrounded by, high protein cookies, brownies, shakes, anything high protein in the athletic programs. And so my co-founders who were training for the NFL draft at the time, they were eating these things all day long during the day. But at nights, we found ourselves at the local donut shop 3 to 4 times a week. And so that's when we really saw the opportunity is, to bridge that gap between, traditional sweets and better for you. So that's kind of how it got started for us, just kind of our own sweet tooth and our bad habits and trying to, create products that, are available to people despite predisposed medical conditions like celiac disease or diabetes, and products that can fit any diet.
And then my follow-up question there is, in this category, oftentimes it's just about getting someone to taste it the first time, right? Absolutely. Just to realize, like, you know what, this is good, and then you got them, right? So how do you think about that? How are you trying to solve that problem, locally and nationally?
Yeah. So, when we initially started out of school, so we started out of college. My brother actually dropped out to bake full time. And so that's kind of how we got started. We went to every gym in Austin. We went to trainers, facilities, and just really getting product feedback. And so that's kind of how we started the business. We launched online just to get that customer feedback. And then we learned, if we were going to ship nationwide, we need to improve our shelf life. Customers complained about sugar alcohols and different things like that. So we had to figure out how to reformulate the recipe. And so to your point, being an online business, it is challenging. And so we've offered, things like sampler packs to drive that initial trial. But that's why for us, it's going to be huge to unlock that retail distribution. So when we do get into stores, individuals or consumers can buy one donut, individual donuts, try one of each flavor. Whereas online, it obviously doesn't make sense to ship one donut. So we're doing multi-packs. So we're selling 6 packs of donuts, which at that point, it can be a high price point or barrier to entry for some consumers. So being able to get retail distribution is going to open it up for us to make the product more available to people, but also make it, a more affordable option at 1 or 2 donuts rather than buying big multi-packs. So that's really kind of our plan to get our product to more people is through that distribution.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask a question I already know the answer to, but I think it's fun. Tell me, are you seeing any sort of geographic concentration? And if so, why do you think that may be?
You set me up with this one. I know that. But yeah, definitely. So for us, obviously, we're in Texas. So we do see a lot of our traffic in Texas, of course, because that's kind of where we built our business. But really in the Northeast is where we tend to see a lot of our traffic. I think, there's higher end consumers. People love donuts, obviously. And I think there's more health consciousness in terms of gluten-free keto. And so really that's where we've seen a lot of our traffic in those kinds of places like the Northeast, California, Texas. And so that's kind of really how we built our business. So, people love donuts, and I think people also want better for you. They want to eat products that make them feel good and, are also good for them. So we're just trying to capitalize on the opportunity.
Yeah. I ask, it's a leading question for those of you who don't know. Rhode Island has one of the highest concentrations of bodybuilders and the highest per capita concentration of donut shops. So they see a lot of things in New England because for some reason the culture just lends itself to both aggressive fitness and aggressive donut love.
I still remember that. I didn't want to steal your thunder there. So
no, it's all you. So folks, everyone who's watching, no matter what platform you're watching on, feel free to throw any questions or comments you have for the Elite Sweets team down in your comment box, and we'll ask those questions. Candice, do you have some other questions while we wait for some audience ones?
Just one question.
I have placed my order.
I have some for you.
It's okay. Well, I already bought them, so we all have more.
I appreciate it. Which ones did you get?
I got the variety pack. There's a $3 coupon on Amazon right now. And if anybody knows me well, they know I'm all about a coupon. So, so yeah. What other questions do I have? Let's see. Let's talk about ingredients. You talked a little bit about sugar alcohols just a moment ago, but tell me about kind of purity of ingredients, because I know a lot of kind of health foods. I look at that ingredients list and I'm afraid of what's happening back there. So tell me about how you've gotten to what you got.
Yeah, I mean, it really took us a long time. And I think that's one of the real huge barriers to entry is how difficult it is to make a product like what we're making while also making it taste good. And also, having things like shelf life and, the ability to be able to get the product in distribution. So we really worked with top product developers. We've really spent a lot of time on the formulation, hundreds and hundreds of hours of R&D. We're really focused on creating a product that met we always created products with our customers' health and fitness goals in mind. So, we've always kept in mind things like low sugar, high protein, how do we reduce carbs? And so we've used all natural ingredients. We're preservative free. And so that's really been a focus of ours. And that's kind of, why we're obviously more expensive than a traditional donut is we use premium ingredients that are better for you, gluten free. And so that's always, the core of ours. We don't try and, use cheaper products just to improve margin or profit. We're really focused on our customers' health and fitness goals. And I think that's what's always going to set us apart from others.
You're muted, Candice.
That wasn't because I did it. Maybe it was Marlon. I'm going to blame it on Marlon. No, I'm excited, and maybe the viewers can watch me try to finish out losing this COVID-15 with my donut order.
Yeah, it's real.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So as a reminder, folks in the audience, feel free to ask any questions you'd like. As a reminder to you, though, if you want to answer questions and you're comfortable, please feel to do so. But if it's something that's proprietary, trade secret, also feel free to omit. So are drinks or cereal on your roadmap? Carlos Jones wants to know.
Yeah, so in terms of drinks, not so much. I think I consider us more of a food company rather than food and bev. And then in regards to cereal, there's a lot of great companies that are currently, leading that industry. And so that's not necessarily our next vertical or launch, but, we do like the idea of creating kind of like a line of breakfast products. So I would never count it out, but that's not our number one goal. Our goal is to be a sweets company. And so more than cereal, we have other products in mind for sure.
Excellent. And Daniel Phil wants to know, are there any artificial flavors in your products?
We don't use any artificial flavors. Everything's all natural. So we do use natural flavors, but everything's pretty standard. We don't use anything crazy in there because, we want products that people can pronounce, people understand, and, you don't want to scare people from the label. So nothing artificial in there.
And Anthony Johnson, if you don't want to answer this, don't worry about it. But what are the gross and operating margins?
Yeah, so our gross margins are about 40 to 50%, just kind of depending on the SKU. And then from an operational standpoint, we're not a profitable business today, but we do have sufficient margin that we believe at scale will cover our expenses and make us a profitable business. So for us, it's really about economies of scale and getting to that next step for us.
Which is why you need investors.
Exactly.
And let me say, that was an amazing answer. I don't know how often you've pitched your company, but that was a really sharp and concise answer.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Boom. And if you like this delivery and this pitch and the way he answered questions, and you'd like to vote for Elite Sweets to win this competition, the question you should be asking yourself is, would I invest in the company if I could? If you would invest in Elite Sweets, text the number 1 to 203-408-6432. Once again, if you would invest in Elite Sweets, text the number 1 to 203-408-6432. And quick note, if someone wants to go and buy some Elite Sweet donuts, where can they find them right now?
Yeah, they can find us at elitedonut.com. And we do sell on Amazon. So check us out on Amazon, search Elite Sweets, Elite Donuts, and 2-day shipping. So you can't beat that.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good seeing you guys again.
Never
Thank
until
you.
you're back.
All right, Mr. Brackeen, what are your thoughts? You're on mute. I'm so sorry.
I mean, we got to get used to this again.
Yeah. Well, we get muted. But anyway, it was really, really good. I'm always looking for two things. Founders that are, and this is, by the way, unfair. Founders that are wildly like, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to run through the door. Or founders that are like, you know what? That's not for me. I'm going to really stay focused on this thing. Both are actually really good, but he really had that. Like, he knew what he was doing, knew what was a distraction, and is just going to like crush it on just focus, customer. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I love the leap between sales in 2019 and sales in 2020. Significant difference, right? Like, we didn't really get into that, but I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why, including distribution on Amazon. I'm sure helped quite a bit. But I found that to be really exciting. We talk from time to time about, for some, they don't appreciate folks working together when they're part of the same family. I love the fact that he's working with his twin brother. And I'm certain that they are incredibly passionate because of their background and just kind of attacking this issue. And so I liked that about the team component. The fact that they've gotten to where they have in that amount of revenue proves that people want to buy this. Now it's just, what does distribution look like and how large of a company can it get to? I see lots of natural exit partners and acquirers for this space. There are plenty of them out there. You go to any power bar aisle or any kind of energy bar aisle, not a power bar, that's a brand. Energy bar aisle, and you're going to see lots of brands that can acquire. You flip it over and it's actually like 5 brands, not the 50 that you see. So I don't know, very interesting. I can't wait to try it out.
I think you'll like it. I've heard really great things. Heads up for anyone watching, if you do want to try it. I've heard they're great. They are not nut free, but I've heard really great things about taste. I've heard really great things about its effect on performance. And this is a very hard category to really get any traction in because it is such a crowded space. But they've managed to do it. I'm excited to see what the brand grows to be beyond donuts, or even just beyond this particular donut, see what they do as they increase SKUs. But really excited to see how they do it.
All right. We are moving right along.
Yes, we are. And so with that, we're going to bring on another company, kind of sort of focused on performance. Can't wait to meet the team at Round21.
I'm Jasmine Maeda, CEO and founder of Round21. Round21 brings art to things we love in life. Round21 came about over the course of my 20-year experience working in sports, gaming, and tech. I was a professional basketball player turned marketer for brands like Reebok and Under Armour and most recently Peloton, and I continued to see people self-expressing who they are, their identity, in things in their life. It was the things that they had the most passion for. Having been a professional athlete surrounded by sports locker room culture my entire career, I want to take this opportunity to bring the things we play with to life and provide identity and a sense of meaning to the player. The ping pong paddles Round21 started with was just our first canvas. We've quickly moved into basketball and are building other sports and products. I wanted our origin story to be rooted in a highly inclusive experience, and ping pong is a cultural glue. It brings people together. I know a lot of teams in the NFL and the NBA and in golf have ping pong tables because it's a way for teammates to play on an even playing field regardless of skill or size. The NBA contacted us in July to commission paddles for the bubble. We got paddles in hand in August. Anthony Davis got paddles for the Lakers. The Detroit Pistons got paddles for the team. So I'm really excited about this idea of ping pong being part of a team's culture, now representing the team's beliefs and values. We are going to be unapologetic on how and who we partner with from an artist community, and it's going to be a multicultural, multiracial, multi-socioeconomic background of artists designing for today's Gen Z consumer. One of the things we know about art is that it's a vibrant part of our everyday culture. But today's generation is taking art from the museum and putting it into their life. Self-expression hit a fever pitch in 2020, and consumers are now making art part of their interactivity in their world.
Hey, Marlon, I don't know what's happening.
Community, but it's done now.
And that's why I'm building Round21, a brand for the multicultural, multi-generational group of consumers who are rich in creative currency. And sport
I think we've gotten caught in a loop.
Players and sports equipment have been focused on function for over 50 years and have missed the cultural relevance that consumers today care about. And our future vision expands even beyond sports. And there are companies like Minted and Art.com that are validating this opportunity. However, they don't currently connect with the vibrant, younger, and multicultural self-expressive generation that Round21 is designing for. Our business model today is scalable and flexible to drive growth, even though we're starting in sports. Very simply, we monetize Round21 in two ways. We sell our products by building a platform for artists to design products with us. And then they also can provide products on Round21's platform where we get a royalty of each sale. We run limited edition drops, plus have seasonal and permanent collections, and are piloting a membership program around gifting. And our direct to community strategy leverages our own e-com channel, but also leverages existing distribution where artisanal and design-led products are sold. Not to mention the opportunity for B2B when restaurants, universities, and the new way of working opens back up post-COVID. After our successful Kickstarter, we've now secured the NBA license for 2021 and beyond, and recently have been commissioned by the largest photo museum in the world because they want Round21 to extend their exhibitions in the spring, which is an exciting validation point around the cultural capital of what Round21 is building. The momentum of Round21 is really driven by the team. In addition to me being focused full-time, Joe Sargent, recently from the Kansas City Chiefs, has joined on as head of marketing. He also has worked for brands like Effin Vodka and Wilson, so he understands business development and sport and consumer relevance, as well as Jerry Hu, who has spent 25 years working on the supply chain for manufacturers such as Reebok and Spalding, who's bringing product innovation for Round21's expansion and growth. The fundraise we currently have is already supported by investors who have incredible reputations and experience. And the use of funds as a part of this raise are going towards marketing and product development and inventory, as well as securing artists who have disproportionate impact on where Round21 is going. We're excited about Round21's potential and to support the idea and ideals behind what you play with to say something about who you are. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. You got the double whammy.
That is all right. So thank you for joining us. Candice, you want to start?
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So we were drinking from a fire hose there. Tell me a little bit about, so you have a lot of distribution opportunities. Where are you actually starting right now?
DTC. Round21 knows the importance of owning our narrative and the storytelling behind each product. So we want to make sure we can control that environment. We also have what I call direct to community distribution partners, specifically Design Milk, which is a curator of home goods that are designed to say something about who you are, as well as Showfields, which is a brick and mortar concept that claims to be the most interesting store in the world. We have distribution there in Miami. But ultimately, you know, in the short run, it's about controlling the narrative and being seen as the
expression and story behind the product so that players, when they invest in a piece by Round21, know that it says something about who they are.
So tell me where you are in process. I don't know if I quite grasped that from the deck. When did you actually launch for the first time? How are things going at this point?
So we launched in the summer of 2020 with ping pong, which I would call our first product canvas. And we added mini hoop backboards at holiday. And we're just getting inventory now. It's not actually set up for sale yet of inflatable basketballs, and soccer balls will follow in the fall. We also are being pulled by artists and athletes and digital marketplaces to bring this sense of identity and playfulness into the metaverse and through NFTs. And so that is new news. It's obviously not represented in the video content, but we have tremendous momentum as a leader where art and sport converge with, and I can go into details, with presence in crypto voxels, with NFTs dropping this week, as well as creating the first ever Crypto Sports Week, May 11th through the 15th, which is going to be an incredible platform for artists, tech, and sports figures to have a sense of purpose around this new emerging landscape.
You're muted.
Oh, I was going to say, who's up next?
I'll
Go,
take
Brent.
it. Yeah, super impressive. I'm the big design nerd on the team, so I just love everything that you're doing. And I would definitely have questions about. We don't often see people that have both sides of their brain working at the same time, right? So you see creatives that are amazing, making amazing things, but they struggle on the business side. Or you have business folks that couldn't even draw like their own name, right? You seem to have both in the same head. So how is that? Like, how did you get here, and how does that really drive the business?
Yeah, thank you for asking, because I believe it's muscle that has been built by managing businesses through a marketing leadership role. So I played professional basketball after college and spent 5 years coaching at the collegiate and high school level. And then I made a pivot and I joined the kind of corporate comforts around marketing and sports with my first role at Reebok, right as Adidas had acquired them. I spent 4 years at Hasbro leading the gaming division through a marketing lens, but had product development responsibilities as well, and always in global roles. I spent 6 years as head of marketing at Under Armour, leading men's training, running, underwear, connected footwear, connected fitness. And that's when Peloton recruited me in 2018 to be VP of Global Brand, when they really wanted to do three things: set up for a successful IPO, bridge from a bike company to a global fitness brand, and scale from a US domestic business into a global, into the global, I think, leader that they are on the path to becoming. I started Round21 at Under Armour as a side hustle, consistently seeing people in my network and kids out, playing in whatever sport, soccer, basketball, expressing who they were with their hoodie or their sneakers. And I was like, there's so much more to the person, and there's so much more to be monetized. The sneaker industry alone is projected to be $100 billion, inclusive of the secondary market sales on the back of StockX and GOAT. There's so much more to the lifestyle of sport. And the thing we play with is core to our identity. Why shouldn't it say something about who we are? The same way shoes used to be foot covering and now absolutely say something about who we are. So that was really the thesis. But then I needed to take the role at Peloton. But then in 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, and I saw athletes using their sport as a platform for change, and artists expressing ideas that people wanted to express in the world but didn't have the words to say, I thought Round21 needs to launch now. And that's what was really compelling me to take this entrepreneurial leap.
I'll just say and wrap up. There's some folks in the comments talking about your communication skills, and it really, really comes through. I feel like I understand the business completely, and I've known you for like 4 or 6 minutes, something like that. Right? So yeah, deeply appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent. And folks, before I ask my question, if you have any questions for the Round 21 team, feel free to throw your questions in the comment box below and I will get there. So my question is, when you think about the Gen Z consumer, that's a kind of a big range at this point. So is your end user the same person as the customer who's actually going to write the check?
You are asking a question that I sweat for like 3 months straight because I kept wanting to demo the consumer. It's absolutely a psycho. There are 60-year-olds who want to express their lifestyle through art and things that they collect and curate to say something about who they are. Those people are, and I see some comments, those people are buying Supreme. They're buying the latest Kyrie. They're buying the latest thing off of the network retail app. There's that same kid who's 14 that wants to express who we are. So we call this consumer the standout. And that is our current consumer muse. This is someone who will disproportionately spend on things that elicit a sense of uniqueness, that are a signal to their peer group and everyone that they are special. And we really want to meet them where it's a passion for the sport lifestyle, because that's my 25 years. That's where I know I'm going to make the biggest impact. And from there, we absolutely will scale wherever our community or consumer wants us to go. Bringing art to things we love in life is a very broad idea. Just the sports angle in real life and in the metaverse as digital collectible skins with your avatars as well as NFTs is going to keep us busy at least for the next 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. So I have a question here from Anthony Johnson, who wants to know, is this company a Vistaprint type business, a Supreme brand? Or what is their comp? I'm assuming competitors. How do you differentiate the brand?
Great question. I hope one day to be seen as the next Supreme. I'll be honest. I think they took their first canvas, which was skate, not the skateboard, but this idea of skate, and imaged it through the community of skate and the activity of skate and monetized it across a lifestyle that people aspire to be a part of. And we are not a Vistaprint. We're not a commodity. We're taking a great amount of care to build cultural capital with the community of artists, as well as the community of athletes that want to participate in this new way of self-expression. We want to be seen as a curator of cool, and that curator of cool needs to be intersecting key moments in sports and key moments in art. And again, I wish I had time. We have this incredible presence in crypto voxels right now that we call the Game Room Gallery, with 9 artists that are expressing their love for sport in the NFT space, 2 of which are dropping with a physical Round 21 product. You know, like you get the NFT, but you get the basketball as well. And I think that new model of being known for art x sport with physicals and digital is really going to be our opportunity, which Supreme didn't have a chance to do. They are single-mindedly rooted in the physical, and that's the new, I think, exciting opportunity for Round 21, is to be where the consumer wants us to be.
Excellent. Wow. Thank you. I think that's the only question. Once again, great positive feedback about you in the comment section, but you've hit the nail on the head. I guess one last question. Are you fundraising? Is it Series A or later? Says Carlos Jones.
Great question. So I am not Series A or later. This would be a seed round that's kind of opening now. I believe that strategic investors from the world of art and sport are going to be materially important to where we go in the future. And I also think having kind of a sense of my own blind spots around crypto and NFTs. I definitely am self-taught over the past 8 months, but having some strategic investment from places that have proven out that there is a long-term, profitable, sustainable business in NFT and crypto would also be an important strategic investor for where we're going.
Excellent. Excellent. Everyone, thank you for watching this performance. Wow, I'm stuck in theater. Thanks for watching.
It's so good. It was that good.
It was that good. If you'd like to vote for Jasmine and Round 21, if you would invest in this company, text the number 2 to 203-408-6432. Once again, the number for Round 21 is 2 to 203-408-6432. And one last reminder, folks, as you're doing this, this is a text number. Please do not put the number 2 in the comments. It will not count. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Candice.
Okay, so I don't understand all of it because, as Brian and you know, I lack creativity. Okay, but what I do understand is the space. Like I struggle with like the imagination it would take to grow this company. But I understand the sports space and the creative space just in general, and overlapping those two makes sense. Jasmine is so flipping impressive as a human being that when we talk about, you know, how do you choose an investment, and you talk about founder first, like I was very quiet because I was trying to learn from her because she's just that cool. It's nice to see a woman in this space also. You know, we see the founders of GOAT, we see the founders of StockX, and we see the founders of Supreme, and we just see a lot of men in this space. And somehow women have been kind of like just cut out over time, like systemically cut out over time. And so I don't know, Jasmine is just, I can't speak too much to the company, but just as a founder, I liked her as a founder, just like so much.
Brian?
Yes, I'm kind of the same answer here. I think, and this isn't easy to pull off, by the way, but sometimes if you're good enough, you can take something that the investor doesn't understand and it doesn't matter because you're so good. You're like, I don't get it fully, but I see that like the fundamentals are there. And I know that this person knows so much more about the topic than I do. And I trust that person to lead the investment to the right result. For someone to really, really, really understand, they have to understand NFTs, design, CPG in general. Like this is like, it's a few things, but they meld together perfectly, right? And I think that an investment in her is an investment that's going to generate return.
I think tonight we see kind of the perfect dichotomy of, I think, my favorite founders, right? We have the Lead Suites team, which is really just like a rabid personal passion about something, where you can tell there's almost an obsessiveness when you speak to them about the problem they're solving and how many people they can help by solving that problem. I love that founder, but I also love the Jasmine who just shows up to the table with a resume. You know what I mean? Like the perfect resume for saying, I've worked here, here, and here. I'm a former professional athlete. I know everything about this space because I've lived it for 25 years professionally. I love that spectrum. I love both of those types of founders. And yeah, I mean, she could teach me a few things, like very, very, very well-rounded in what she needs to know about design, marketing, sport, the intersection of those, and seems to be well on her way to really building something over there around Round21. Very excited to see what it looks like in the future.
Shall we go?
Are you saying something, Candice? You're on mute again.
No, I was just saying, I was just agreeing. Sorry, talking to myself.
So that's really it for us, folks. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the very first episode of Twitch Pitch Season 5. We did it, yay. We are excited to be back here with you this Thursday, 7 p.m., same place, wherever you're logged in to see us now, 7 p.m. Eastern. We can't wait to see you there to see 2 more companies compete for the crown for $25,000 and some other cool non-cash prizes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will have to cut it a little short. Normally, we like to go back behind the scenes and talk a little bit, but we have some places to be. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you again to our incredible sponsors, including JP Morgan Chase, the Ohio Third Frontier, the Hillman Accelerator, UPS. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Torrance, for tuning in. Hello, hi. Thank you, Rockstar74, for coming back as always. Always love what you're doing. Thank you, Carlos Jones, for joining us. Thank you, Anthony Johnson, for the great questions. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, y'all.